Thank you, Vonnie. I would like to introduce Tim Salway to our Fox League family this afternoon. Tim is one of the survivors from these horrific bushfires that tore through this community over the Christmas and New Year period. Tim, thank you for joining us in our coverage this afternoon. For those watching at home, can you help us understand how these bushfires have impacted your family?
Well, we 31st and New Year's Eve wasn't pleasant, that was for sure. My father and brother passed away in the fires, trying to, protect their farm basically. And it's been a long 7 weeks for the whole community of Cobargo and surrounds. So it's very devastating at the present time, that's for sure.
Widespread destruction, devastation in the community. We spent some time in the last few days travelling around and having a look at some of these areas. Nothing but ash on the ground. Houses that were once standing are just rubble, melt everywhere, plastic into the ground. Is it sinking in how this has all happened and unfolded for this community?
Yeah, I guess the aftermath now, like seven weeks into it or 6 weeks into it, a bit after, I'm not quite sure, but it's just the reality of what we're going to do, especially on our farm. We're a large-scale dairy farm. We've lost 175 head of our cattle, and over 25 kilometres of fencing. And I'm not the only. Our stories aren't the only ones. People have lost their homes. They're living at the showgrounds. It's going to be it's a long battle for everyone ahead. So, but having footy here today, it's great. So everyone's got a smile on their face. So that's good.
So what is it, Tim, that the community actually needs in order to begin the rebuild amongst this recovery?
I'll talk of the dairy farmers. We don't like to ask for help, but we've got kilometres and kilometres of fencing. I think in the Cobargo region there's over 20,000 kilometres of fencing to do. So stuff like that. Cobargo have a hay fund that people could donate to. Our local publicans knows all about that. And I think just people come back to the local area and visiting and visit, buying, going into the shops that are still standing and supporting local areas. Tourism, they've copped heaps. So, like 80% of the income's gone because they have the Christmas break. So that's what's got to happen. People come back to the towns and support them.
And how do days like today? We are here to celebrate the football and raise as much money as possible for everyone in the community to start that rebuild. Yeah. How can we help today?
Like I said before, I said just come back to the communities and just keep coming back, buying from the local shops. Come and stay for the weekends. Like in our businesses, it's probably fencing gear is probably the biggest thing that us as farmers need. Everyone needs help. So if someone can help in any sort of way, buy a coffee, buy a pie from the local pie shop. That's what it's all about. And it's going to be a tough road for everyone. And winter's coming, so that's if we people living at showgrounds, and it's hard. They've lost everything. Mate, I've lost heaps too. Just in our case. Well, we've lost $1 million, so like just in cattle alone, $300,000. Fencing, you're looking at $14 a metre. That's how much fencing is these days. So just on our place, it's, $540,000. And then you got on top of that, your dairy farm, and you've lost your father and your brother. That's just my story, and there's plenty more out there that are pretty bad too. So it's just get back to the local communities and go to your shops and support that way, I guess.
Well, Tim, on behalf of everyone at Fox Sports, thank you for sharing your story, and we certainly hope your road to recovery and the rebuild happens sooner rather than later. We can't have people living in caravans come a very dark and a very cold winter, so thank you for your time.
No, any time, and today's a great tribute to what's going on. We've got a packed footy ground. There's smiles on people's faces, and that's what it's about. The footy's back in town, and thank you to the NRL and people like yourselves for coming down and supporting us. So thanks a lot.
Will be very welcome. Vaughn, it's been a real pleasure and a privilege to meet Tim and learn his story. There are so many more that need to be told, and just last night Tim gave Fox Sports and Andrew Voss his blessing to dedicate today's call to his brother and his father that have been killed in these horrific bushfires.